ghost.
The gang's all here.
Oh, that scared I thought there was a ghost in the background there. Okay, so I have no idea if this is gonna work. I should probably hook up the stream key. Right? Oh, yeah. This is.
That's
Hell yeah. Okay. Do you like the little guy?
We should talk about it on the podcast.
No, he hasn't seen it.
yeah. No spoilers for House of Usher.
Okay, then he can leave, and then
I will.
Yeah.
I'll be here for like 15 minutes. It's fine.
Oh, you bastard! Don't you dare!
I got nothing. So
You didn't talk to Mother?
she
Hey,
has
you-
nothing either. How
You
What?
many?
got
That's
as much as I had
bullshit.
last year.
How many pressure points podcasts are on YouTube?
4?
2, 3, 4.
Oh, just in general, I think it's 4. Wait. Did they give me a different stream key? Oh,
Did
I'm
they
so
reassign
glad I checked. Because that looks different. Do you want me to start with the audio all muted so it's just this GIF over and over and over again? For the next 4 minutes?
I mean, you could.
Or 2 minutes? Just to see if it works.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be a good test.
Have you put it out there yet? Like as a...
Put what out there?
Ourselves. If we put ourselves out there.
Never. Yeah, there's candy there too. It's super.
Just don't
Just gonna
touch it
sound
while we're
so
recording.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be like the joint episode.
Yeah, where you're rolling joints.
Jesus. Still have nightmares about
Was that
that.
was that before we had these mics? Was that still shitty mic season?
I can't remember.
I think it was.
Mm.
That was a good episode. I should do that again.
That was a good episode until that point.
How many did you roll?
Hey,
Hey,
we're live.
I think like 15 or something. Yeah.
Good use of your time.
Oh yeah. And to
Oh,
be
it was
fair,
great.
it was. Don't blame me because that was your fucking idea to have me roll them the
Well,
whole
yeah.
episode.
Like, you should roll us up a bunch of these because I fucking love them.
You should fill up this cigarette holder that I have. I was like, okay,
And you
just
rolled
roll
twice
them
as
during
many.
the episode. I was like, all right.
Do you have a link yet?
Probably. On the
Don't you
YouTube
usually send out a link
to you.
to the live?
Yeah, we usually I've sent out like DMs with the link before.
Katie did a cool thing on the Instagram
Uh-huh.
where you could sign up to get a reminder of the live stream.
Oh shit.
So I got like an
Oh,
alert.
really?
I was like, hey, this thing's happening.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, that's how you did it last year. That's when we knew it was going. So.
Do you have? You said you have it live right now.
Yeah.
I don't even see it.
I see the one from last year. The Hollow-weener Spooktober-tacular.
Katie, did you go to subscriptions?
I did.
Go to
Okay, yeah,
subscriptions.
it's live.
Yeah, that's easier.
Hmm?
Just go to subscriptions.
So go back. Oh, there you go. Yeah. There you
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you want me to
Everybody
send the link?
turn off your
There you go.
Wi-Fi. Nobody be connected to
Okay.
Wi-Fi.
I'm not.
I can do that.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, you like that? Dirty slut?
Mm-mm.
Damn it, I'm using all my good content.
You're gonna run out of shit. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm already out. Fuck.
You burned out bright.
I took 2 Benadryl today. No, wait. I'll start that conversation in the stream. Never mind. Ignore that. Strike that. Reverse it. Oh, a link.
I have it. Do you want me to?
Just send it
Send
to
it.
people, I guess.
I put the link to the YouTube in the Instagram story.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, do you
Genius.
want me to send the link to the live stream to you?
Sorry, what?
Do you want me to send the link to the live stream to
Oh, no,
you?
I got it.
Oh, okay. You already have it.
It really is.
I
She's
already
like, there's all
posted
this shit you guys aren't using at all.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
for
Like,
real.
fuck.
We're still in the past, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here's a link. Got the YouTube.
Okay, so you have random assortment of stories?
Yeah, mostly just Reddit comments.
I've got 3 pages of notes.
I have long comments that I can look at and just tell short stories of.
Do you want to start with? Do you have anything?
No.
Okay.
I just came to say
Yeah.
hi
No.
for
That's
a
good.
minute.
No, you're gonna be here. We need your input. At least in my section.
I can
For a
input.
good time, not a long time.
That's right. I can
Okay.
input that.
So
I
we'll
can
do some of your stories, and then we'll do mine because mine's a little bit longer. And then we'll do some more of your stories.
I told you I'll
and we'll
just
talk about
read the cremation of Sam McGee really slowly,
it. Real slowly.
Yeah, yeah.
and then
Fantastic work, though.
and then it'll burn up like 3 minutes.
Perfect.
Easy peasy.
Something about a ship.
What? No, the cremation of Sam.
Well, yeah,
McGee.
he gets burned on a ship.
No, he does not.
Yeah, buried in the ice.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's a derelict ship in the ice that has
No,
It
not.
says it's called a derelict, isn't
Hey,
it?
whoa, it's his story. I think he knows it.
I do.
Or did I skip the word after derelict? Because derelict is the name for an abandoned ship.
Yeah,
But does it say derelict cabin or something?
probably.
Oh, I thought it was just
He's
like
in,
a
he's in a
barge.
furnace. Yeah.
Yeah, a furnace
Yeah,
and a barge.
exactly.
It's poetry. Something you should know about because of Follow the House of Usher. Katie has so much to share about the trivia and stuff.
Here is how bad.
Every character, every line is referenced to a Poe.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'll tell you this. Here is how bad the American education system is. My English teacher I had for 2 years straight hated poetry, so we never went over it.
That
Nice.
sounds right. I think I did poetry in elementary, and then after that I didn't do it ever again.
Yeah,
All right, I'm going live.
never did
Yeah,
it.
we didn't do anything that was like big with it.
Ready?
All right, nobody say nothing.
No. Are you gonna do the music?
Yeah.
Wait, you went to North Dakota?
Nobody say anything.
Miss
Shh,
Appleton.
silence.
Quiet on set! Ass baloney. Her name was Miss Ass baloney.
It was. I hated it.
Okay, no more doxing though.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
No
okay.
more doxing.
no, don't even breathe hard.
Yeah, it'll get picked up. I love the theremin. It's my favorite instrument.
Yes.
You get it nice and quiet there,
Yeah.
so it's always on in the background.
Is that the loop 12-hour version?
No.
Oh,
I
good.
think I have that somewhere here.
No, don't play it, please.
Oh, just let that
we'll
one
just
fade
let
out?
it fade out.
Okay.
All
Hey,
right.
yo, we're here. It's a Halloween Spooktacular, baby.
It is. We
done
actually
did it.
More researched.
Mm? Yeah, I didn't wake up 15 minutes before the stream this time.
Man, that's impressive.
We have a few guests in studio as well. Sweet Tea.
Hello.
On the fucking mic.
Yeah, you.
We got our social media specialist in the corner.
Say hi.
and
Hello.
we have the one that abuses me 6 days out of the week, and on the 7th I'm recording. So she's in the studio as well.
That's a me?
Witnesses.
All right.
Yeah.
Witnesses, yeah.
We're here. How's your week
We're
been?
here.
How's everybody's
Everybody's
week been?
week,
Yeah,
yeah.
got this is a hot.
It's been
this is gonna
busy.
get a toasty studio real quick.
It is. I can't wait. I'm
We can get
freezing
real
cold right
spicy
now.
in this bitch.
It's been busy. We've been running around because I don't know. The older I get, the more shit I have to do on my days off. Sweet Tea's nodding
Oh,
in agreement.
I've been doing this for 60 years. Yes, I know.
You're not 60.
No,
Almost.
no, not even close.
Well,
Yeah, pretty close.
what's the exact date of your birthday and how old are you?
And your
And
address.
my mother's maiden name.
I actually do have a Halloween related question for you, Sweet Tea.
Okay.
I know your father. I'm slowly becoming him.
Yes.
How did your father ever take you out trick or treating in the 70s? Was it always your mother? Was it family? Like
Ooh.
let's talk about
I think
trick or treating.
Well, back in the 80s, you just went out on your own.
Yeah. Threw
So-
rocks at homeless
Have
people.
you fucking
just
have you ever
found-
seen Stranger Things?
Found
Yeah,
the
they
dead
just go
bodies.
out on your own. I seem to remember
You ever
my
seen
mom.
the Goonies? Come on.
Yeah, they just did it by themselves. Yeah, that's what we did. Mostly
just
by ourselves.
Go out. Was
Just
it?
go out in the neighborhood. Yeah, I'm assuming that my mom took us around, to get to the better neighborhoods sometimes. But
Pillowcase in hand?
never pillowcase.
Never
We
a
always had like
pillowcase, was a stick
was
with
a
a bandana
Yes,
tied around
it's
it.
a bindle, a bindle over my shoulder. Yep, just a couple of hard biscuits and some pemmican.
It's Oliver
Perfect.
Twist. You just have a bowl.
Yeah, a bowl with water.
more. Have some treat or treats.
You're carrying like a gourd that's been hollowed out and corked, full of your drinking water for the day.
Yes, yeah. I think we were just out on our own mostly, but
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys
You ever
like,
get up in any shenanigans? When things were legal, when
Well,
things were illegal, but there
when-
weren't
when things were-
9,000
But I was a
police per
minor.
capita. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, always lots.
when
No.
things were
Sympathy.
not chargeable.
Right.
Yeah.
I could have been charged as a minor mostly. So
Yeah, but it was the 80s.
yeah, it was the 80s.
anything
so.
of note.
Not that I can think of. If I think of something, I'll let
nothing
you know.
that'll implicate you if somebody goes and digs up a body.
No.
Nah.
They're very
No
deep.
Stand By Me moments.
Going to look for the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did have. There was a guy in Salt Lake who was.
Doxing.
No,
I'm
his
just kidding.
name. He called himself the Worm. It was he was and
Like with a Y or with an O?
No, with an
There's a
O.
distinct difference.
Yeah, he had his hair, his head buzzed except for two horns. His hair
What
into
the?
two horns, and he had a cape and everything. He said he was Satan, but his name was the Worm, and he was kind of a staple of Salt Lake.
Did he have that hairstyle
Downtown.
year round, or was that just
All,
for?
as anytime I saw him.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he was really crazy. So for a short while, he was living behind the Safeway that we could see from our house.
Wait, so
we
he's also
think.
a homeless guy?
Oh yeah, he was a homeless guy. Just
I thought he was a kid.
no,
I thought he was in your age group.
no. He was
That's
an old
even
man.
worse.
Yeah, he was.
He was an old guy, and he would do his hair like that and go
Yep.
trick or treating.
Yep, and he was
fuck?
really mentally ill. Yeah, and he would just walk around downtown. Everyone knew who he was. You'd see him on the Brigham Young statue every once in a while with no clothes on.
Hell
This is
yeah.
a place. Just
Yeah.
pointing to his
This
dick
is-
over and over.
Under the eagle there, or no, it's a seagull. I don't know what it is. Eagle.
It's a seagull.
It's a seagull.
It's a seagull.
It's a seagull,
really?
yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I haven't been there.
I don't know. It's a
Never been there.
bird.
They're always
bird
in
statue,
Utah.
it's in
It's always
bronze.
seagulls
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
because they're so blown away by nature working normally.
yeah, they can't believe it because they don't believe in nature.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's a good one.
so we would dare each other to go behind the Safeway and see if we could see him every once in a while.
that was
That's
the dare.
That was
Go
it.
go look at the man with a mental disability.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Behind
I'll
the
do it for
Safeway.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
But
I
we all-
bet I
Huh?
could do it for 10.
I used to have an Elvis impersonator in my neighborhood who drove a
Also
pink
homeless?
Corvette. No.
Oh, he lived in his pink
And
Corvette.
a mental
a pink
disorder.
a pink well, it wasn't a Corvette. It had to have been like something that didn't have a roof, and it was
Oh,
like more
like a T-top?
square than it was like round. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Monte Carlo.
I
don't
maybe I don't know.
A Crown Vic
But it looked
convertible.
like it was like
with a
old
Sawzall.
old car, and then he had the hair, he had
Oh,
the
nice.
sunglasses. He would wear the craziest outfits, and then he also had a horse, so sometimes he would walk around.
What
the- Yeah.
Elvis on a horse.
What a
Yeah,
stud.
it was so weird, so weird. And then
Oh.
one day he just disappeared.
he took a bunch of opioids and then took a dump.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was gonna say yeah, he died on a
He died of
fucking toilet.
megacolon.
Yeah, died of megacolon. That's
Oh my God.
fantastic.
Yep.
Oh
It's
shit!
taking it all the way.
So there's your slice of
The
80s.
Yeah,
Mhm.
80s memorabilia.
80s Utah
Oh, yeah.
Halloween.
That was-
being scared of people with mental disabilities.
And
it was
having-
a much
Oh no,
simpler
I'm
time.
still terrified.
You always had to have we had to have our candy looked through
Oh, of course.
because of the scare of
That's
razor
still
blades.
Oh
And
my god, it's so stupid.
the
We talked about
hospital
that
would
one of
Yeah,
these
X-ray.
the very first Halloween episode,
right.
I actually talked about the history of it, which
and
happened
how it literally never
like
happened.
one fucking time,
And,
and
it
then after
wasn't
that,
even
it was
in
yeah.
a trick or
And
treating.
it was a guy trying
Yeah,
to kill his
he-
own kid,
Yeah.
right?
He put
It was
like
a pixie
razor
stick
blades
full
in
of
fucking
cyanide.
apples. That's
Cyanide
what it was,
pixie
yeah.
That's what it was.
sticks.
And he poured it down
It
his
probably
kid's-
tasted better
Oh, it's amazing.
than the regular
A little
pixie
more
sticks.
almondy.
Well, we all know that pixie sticks are for snorting. So
Well, yeah. Wait, you're supposed to eat those? I thought you just taste them as
I thought that
as
was
your
back of your
post nasal drip.
I thought it was pixie sticks, and then the like subtitle of them is just nose candy.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it?
It is?
Did you get a lot of candy cigarettes growing up?
No.
Those are so
Not
good.
not for Halloween, but walking
Oh.
to the store the Circle K or something. You could buy them on the bottom shelf. 5-cent candies. Yep.
Isn't it crazy how once the kids are out of that house, your family just got a way better house and a way better area?
Oh, I know. It was hard to keep those candy cigarettes lit anyway.
You're
That's
supposed
fair,
to
yeah.
burn them?
No. Wait, what?
No, that reminds me of that guy in the church office building pretending to smoke.
Oh, yes. I think I told
classic.
that story.
We told that story
Yeah.
like 3 times.
Probably,
Because it's
yes.
a classic.
Yes.
It's a classic.
Those were good times right there.
So,
Oh, shit.
what else? Oh, yeah, I have had really bad allergies the last couple of days. So,
Oh, so now we're going back to your week.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now we're looping
We're
back.
looping back, finishing the thought.
Isn't that every
And
week?
yeah, pretty much looping back the whole time.
Yeah.
So we
90% of the show. Hey, how was your week 2 years ago? Oh my god, I forgot to finish this story.
I didn't finish this. So it was 2 nights ago. I just like nonstop sneezed, and I haven't done that ever. So I took a Benadryl and then zoned out and fell asleep, and it was great. But I don't like taking Benadryl because it either makes me anxious or really, really tired. But today, before I took a shower, I took 2 Benadryl.
Which
I've
one
been
do you
asleep
feel?
for the
Anxious
last
or tired?
little bit of both. I'm
Anxiously
so
tired.
drowsy.
Oh, God.
I'm out of it, which
Shaky
is
and
why I'm
sleepy.
looping.
Yes. Wired
Well,
and tired.
I'm shaky because I just ate 5 candy, and that's the only food I've had today.
I got the sleep shakes.
I got the Beatus shakes right
and
now.
2 entire pots of coffee.
Oh yeah, no, Gamer Subs,
Yeah.
200
Oh,
milligrams.
yes.
Oh yeah, how did you like it?
I liked it.
Yeah,
it's really
I
good.
gave him
It's a non-paid advertisement for Gamer.
Oh, yeah,
I can't even
non-paid.
say the name.
Actually, no, we
It's
shouldn't
so
even.
horrible.
We shouldn't
Fuck
even
that
fucking
name.
say them. 'cause
caffeine powder, generic caffeine
They
powder.
never responded.
They
to
never
that
responded
email
to
we
our
sent.
fucking
So
email,
fuck them.
bastards. Fuck
Really?
you.
We could have been sponsored.
Too big for us? I see how it is.
We're
Yeah.
too small time, apparently.
How? I mean, they would have gotten a lot of money from our business. I would have said that.
From you
'Cause-
two.
From us too. Yeah.
We could have made them based off of just this live episode. We could have made them easily. What?
$20.
$40 a tub times the 4 people. Over $150.
Yeah, they're missing out.
Fuck them.
Okay, so all 4 people listening, go, and the people who listen to this subsequently when it's subsequently on Monday when this comes out as our lazy episode, send them hate mail, send them death
No,
threats.
just tell them you should reconsider. That's what they
Reconsider,
need to say.
yeah.
Reconsider.
Or else.
Or else.
else.
Actually, I do have that. That reminds me. Threatening harm against people kind of reminds me of something that happened on our YouTube channel. We got a video taken down.
What?
We
did?
got a warning on our account for hate speech.
Which one?
I'm not
Protocols of Elders of
surprised.
Zion episode.
Oh, bro.
That's because Zion is a
It's ge-
buzzword right now.
It's also
It literally did not happen until all that stuff in the Middle East started.
It's
happening.
also like our most viewed YouTube.
It really
episode.
Seriously.
But the whole point of it is explaining and tracing where anti-Semitism has come from and how it's changed the world.
Yep.
So I put it in for repeal because they said, "Oh, if it's documentary, then we'll
That should be
review
fine,
it." Because it was
yeah.
just a robot.
Of course. It always is.
It
at
gave me a
first.
timestamp, but it wouldn't load. So if anybody's curious, 1755. Oh, you don't have the video though. If it comes back, 1755.
That's where
I mean,
they
it would be
tagged
the
you.
same on any other like podcast.
Oh, duh.
Site, yeah.
It
All right,
should
pull it
count
up.
as a
No,
listen anyway.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Yeah, everybody go listen to 1755 when we honestly probably rally people against the Jews at one point. I'm sure.
Yeah, but
I'm sure we were way too.
It was all in
We were
fun.
so sarcastic about it, but it got grabbed, and we're like, well, you know.
No, I'm guessing I was quoting somebody who said something horrible.
Yeah, me.
Yeah. D. Fuck these Jews or something. That's what. Now this one's gonna be taken
this
down.
one's gonna get
Fuck!
taken down.
Yeah, get ready.
God
This one's
damn it.
getting cut real
I'm
quick.
so glad. Did I start the recording?
We're all just talking to
Oh,
ourselves.
thank goodness.
Just hit stop and refresh.
Yeah, refresh.
Yeah, new one. Get the new link.
All right, but yeah, that was fun. So
Great.
it's under repeal.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We made it. A 1-star review,
Yeah.
full of
Yep.
hate.
We're getting
A new T-shirt
New
idea.
T-shirt idea.
And we're being
Yep.
censored on YouTube.
Yeah, man,
Yep.
we're getting up there.
Yep.
They're censoring us.
Yeah. they don't want you to know the truth.
the truth about the toilet cams.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Oh,
No, wasn't that a
right.
bit on American Dad? Where, like, the CIA is spying on you when you shit through your front-facing camera?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty
I
sure-
don't remember
pretty
anything
sure that's a
from
bit.
American Dad because I'm
pretty sure that's a
always
bit.
way too high to
Oh, yeah, no, if you're watching
American
American Dad, I'm either doing work and I just need sound in the background because I'm lonely, or you got to be real high.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. So it is Halloween, so we do have some spooky stories. I have a... I was gonna say psychic, but that's not the word. I do have a
It's psychic.
psychic.
Ooh.
No, I have a psychiatric review of a Harlequin.
What? Oh.
Yeah, we'll get into it, and
Okay.
then D has some stories.
Yeah, that's
Sweet Tea has nothing.
This is
No,
my this
I
is
brought
my
nothing
easy
to the table.
Reddit comment
Perfect.
episode. This is my throwaway
Hey, I
episode
love-
every year. It's great.
I love random stories.
Earlier, I was looking. I had found a link that was like 10 cool ghost stories from history, and it was like, oh, here's like an Egyptian like translated text that was a ghost story that they told forever ago. It was translated in 1915, and I was like, whoa, that's cool. So I took the link and I pasted it into my ideas page, and I put next year's Spooktober.
Nice.
Ah, good
Perfect.
job.
It's like,
I was gonna say,
I'm
then
not fucking writing
you
any
clicked
notes for
into
this
it.
episode,
Yeah.
bro.
And you clicked into it and realized
Yeah.
I've used that website before.
It's Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah. One page of Wikipedia.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
20
all you
minutes
need.
of it.
All right, so do you want to take it away? You got a spooky story to share?
Yeah, this one's it's spooky, but it's also I found it in the comments because I sorted by controversial on this one that was like, oh, what's the scariest fucking thing that's ever happened to you that's
It's
real?
just controversial because it's obviously
Yeah.
it's just the plot of Poltergeist
No,
2.
it's one of those things that it blew up. What was it like?
It blew up.
Yeah, like 10 years ago. It was one of those, like, everyone was like, oh, shit. So they had posted that their friend went to Vegas, and she went to a club, met this guy that she was super into. She hung out with him the whole night, and she ended up going back to his place. And one thing goes to another. She ends up sucking his dick, whatever.
Oh my god.
She goes back home, and a couple days go by, and she starts getting this fucking.
Is it
What is
genital warts on the lip?
No, it's
He's
no,
gesturing towards his mouth. So I'm
no,
like,
it's the whole. Let's see,
herpes.
what is it? She
acromegaly.
developed sores around her mouth, so she went to the doctor.
Syphilis.
Turns out she had contracted flesh-eating bacteria.
Oh no.
And it's a strain
from the-
only found in humans that consume other humans' flesh.
It is
And-
dick!
Did
Yeah,
she
yeah.
eat his ass?
I don't know.
And he
I
ate
don't
an
know.
He's a
human?
cannibal.
Yeah, he's a cannibal and she ate his ass.
And it's a whole thing of like, oh, like she called the cops, sent people to his place. They found a bunch of body parts in his freezer. They found out that he had been eating them, and it was like this huge thing. I remember it blew up in like 2010, 2012, and everyone was like, holy shit, dude, like somebody that eats human flesh can get this like flesh-eating disorder, and it was like completely thrown out the window. People were like, no, this is fucking bullshit. Like, no, her face wasn't gonna melt off because he was eating human flesh. Come on.
It was just gonna melt off because she got a.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
syphilis
she got
or
syphilis. No, it wasn't even. It was just one of those like
Gonorrhea.
creepy pastas. That
Oh,
someone
God,
wrote.
Son of a
bastards.
bitch.
It's such a bitch having the internet because of shit like that.
Yeah,
But it's also really nice for finding old references. But it's like, if I wanted to research something paranormal, I have to find sources from before the internet existed.
Yeah.
Like the original book, a PDF of the book, or a PDF of a news article, or something. Because everything else is... that was an episode of X-Files, or whatever, you know? Like, there's so much that's just been
fair.
repeated.
Yeah, urban legends were a lot more effective back in the day
Miss the
before the
days.
internet.
back
days.
before
Yeah.
you could type the entire urban legend into
Yeah,
Google and be
before-
like, damn it was bullshit.
Yep.
Not back before you could just have ChatGPT pump out 500 urban legends.
Yeah, you could have a Scott Baio
Damn,
death
that's what I should
scare.
have fucking
Like
done.
I came across a story of
Give
a
me
guy,
spooky
you know,
story.
the whole clown thing in 2016, which
Yes.
was still
Oh, yeah.
so weird.
But sorry to derail.
Wow.
But did you know did you know that that's why McDonald's pulled back on
Ronald
their
McDonald? I love
stuff?
it. That's
is
good.
because of that crazy clown shit that was going on in 2016.
And Ronald
following,
McDonald pulled
But-
a Subway.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and just diddled a bunch of kids.
Ronald McDonald was known as a
A known
child diddler.
pedophile. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Ronald McDonald.
So the clown thing in 2016. What?
I found a story of just one dude who was like, I'm gonna scare the shit out of people when this is happening. So he got like a Google voicemail account and a mask, and he started making these like stickers and graffiti and shit, where he would like
takes a
start
really
to
fucking
graffiti
wild
and like
person to do this shit.
vandalize these spookier parts of his local town, and then he would like go hang out there at night in his clown outfit, freak people out. So it started an urban legend in the town that's like Clown Hollow.
What?
But because he tagged it with the phone number, call for clown or something, I don't know what he did, and like stickers and stuff, people would call the number, they'd leave a message, and then he would call them back. He would call them back and leave like threatening messages and shit.
Jesus Christ.
And so he made the urban legend real that he created initially.
Oh my god.
Like
Honestly,
that's so genius.
This is a service we need.
Yeah.
Such a solid Halloween. Like he really was.
Dude,
just
if I
contributing to
had if I had
Spooktober.
all the time in my hands, I would do something like that. That would be so cool.
Yes.
Yeah, you just need to be homeless with a mental disability. You're set. And a phone.
Perfect. And
That's
a phone.
It. Yeah, a phone.
And hair clippers. And enough
Yep.
grease to
Yeah.
grease
Yep.
up the.
Make your own
I can
horns.
just get it
spikes.
between my balls and.
Yeah.
The worm.
Over the course of a day.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a weird thing that I came across.
I love that. That's, dude. I remember seeing all those fucking weird posts, and people are like,
I thought it was all a joke. I thought it was just a meme.
Initially, I thought it was too,
The
but
whole
then
time.
like it
And then it got on the
continued further and
news.
further, and it
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck?
And it's like so and so charged in the assault of 2 teenage girls.
Yeah.
dressed
Anybody
as
that's
clown
listening,
or
if you
something.
dressed up as a clown and tormented people in the street, reach out to us. 'cause
Yeah,
I want
would love
hear
to know.
like
I
your
would love
story.
pointsofpressure.com. I would
Tell me
love
where you
to hear
live.
that.
Yeah.
I won't come by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell
We'll
me-
give you our address so you can
You
come
can come scare
us.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give you our address so you can come down here. We'll interview you in person.
I'll give you the door code to the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna head out. Nope.
I'ma head
nope.
But yeah, if anybody knows anyone that did that shit,
That would be
send
good to
them our
hear.
way. That
Yeah.
would be just the craziest shit to listen to.
Yes.
Let's see. So I don't remember if you talked about this one last year, but
You don't remember what I talked about 2 weeks ago.
This is true, but you don't remember what I talked about 2 weeks ago either.
Yeah, I do.
So I found one about this guy that he was on a hike, and he kept getting whiffs of this really, really like sweet,
Stank.
yeah, sweet stink, just burning at his nostrils, and so he goes off the trail a little bit. He finds some bushes and trees that have been like folded over and like cut down, kind of like a little makeshift wall, and pulls them back, and he finds this like super swollen, like gross dead body, partially eaten and shit by like the animals in the area. And he was like, it was fucking disgusting. He had to call the cops. And he's like, it took him like 45 minutes to get here.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So I'm surprised it didn't take longer.
Yeah.
He was not in Detroit. It would have taken
I was
days.
going to say, they had to,
he would have had to set up a tent.
they had to stop and choke out a black guy on the way there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
God damn. One of two.
It only
on
takes
their
a
way
couple
there.
minutes. It only takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's all.
Yep.
So they like check it out. They get there, figure everything out, and they're like, oh yeah, this dude totally fucking killed himself based on like, I don't know. And
Based on the
Forensics?
fact that his neck was
yeah,
elongated by
his
2
neck
feet.
is elongated, and there's
But
a,
he's standing
there's a
on the
noose
ground.
around his neck. And the guy was like, for a long time afterwards, I had dreams about him, and he would talk to me and say like really shitty, like just evil things. mainly about how he was angry and I had disturbed his resting place and he wanted me to kill myself.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
He said it was probably just my imagination, but it was all really disturbing at the time. He still turns up in my dreams from time to time, not nearly as often, but no doubt tonight he will be after typing this. I'm like,
Oh,
wow.
shit!
Creepy, dude.
I dig stories like that, though.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just fascinating.
PTSD. Rose got PTSD.
Oh, yeah, some
Yeah,
PTSD up in that.
100%.
Oh yeah,
PTSD.
dead body PTSD. That's pretty
God
rough.
damn. I was like even if like that story is bullshit, like that's the stuff like you said
Yes.
that I love to read
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like it's just real, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's real. It's not trying to make a statement or put
Yeah.
forward
No.
any ideas. It's just, this is what's happening.
Yeah. He's
That's how
not
we
do
dealt
with it what you
he's
will.
not like his ghost is haunting me. It's just like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
this is
seeing
what
him.
I'm-
I don't
yeah.
know how real it
It
is, but
affected
like
him.
I see him in
Yeah.
my dreams.
Exactly.
Yeah, it affected
Oh.
him. And that smell, I hate so much. Dead
Yeah.
body smell.
Like
Well,
old
after
dead
all those
body or like
people you-
fresh dead body?
No, well, fresh dead body doesn't smell like much,
Yeah.
but old
Fresh
dead
dead
body,
body smells like purple
and
wipes.
gangrene smells the same. So when I smell
knows.
gangrene, yeah, it smells like a dead body. Like
Mm.
I've run into like dead deer in the woods, that have been there for a long time.
Yeah, bloated
It's
up
the
cows that
same-
you
it's
cut
the
the
same
head
Dead
off
smell.
of.
bodies that you've left in the woods.
Yeah,
No,
over the
I don't
years.
go back and look at them very much.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
your style.
not
of
much.
serial
Not
Some-
killing.
no,
That's fair.
no. I'm a one and
To
done.
each their own.
Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't want to get a whiff after the last whiff.
I don't want to fall in love.
I keep it
Yeah.
random. What?
Your hand on the table is wiggling.
I know.
I know. I know. I'm sitting
At
here
least
with
it's
my
not
hands in my
making
lap.
sound. I know.
I can't touch the table.
Yeah, that shit's
It's also me kicking it over here. And I'm spinning.
table shaking.
I think
Yeah.
I've been scraping off like
It's my old
like
gum.
old boogers off the bottom of this table too. I found your
Probably.
booger wall.
Yeah.
No, no.
That's my work booger wall. Right there.
Yeah, right.
Just that,
Just that corner, yeah.
specifically.
Well, it's fresh and clean for you.
That's interesting. You found my jizz table.
What?
Jesus Christ.
Have you seen that? It was an earlier meme, and it was like, this guy got fired from my work, and this is what they found under his desk, and it's like the desk
Yeah.
over on its side, and it's just white smears
Oh my
under it.
hell.
So, the worst is it like I
know,
believe it. I'm like
I
that-
believe it.
Well,
It
yeah.
yeah.
probably existed one time, and then
Yes.
it was like
At least.
we're not going to
Yeah.
check under the bottom of
No,
desks anymore.
no. You learn as you go.
Are you guys familiar with Carl Jung,
No,
Yeah.
the psychologist?
Yes.
Yeah.
no.
I
Yes.
didn't think so. That's good. I talk about him a little
Would
bit.
I have to read about him and it's an episode? No.
No, it's just like intro to
Is it like
psychology, Psych
homework?
101, anything
No.
like that.
No, I
I know.
went to poor people high school, so I don't know
Oh,
any
yeah.
of that shit.
You learned life skills, right?
Not even that.
Not
no.
even that.
And I still
No,
failed.
hell no.
Barely graduated.
That's all right.
So you look at the image.
Of that,
Look at the show that we've
which
recently
I-
finished.
I
Not you.
hate, by the way.
Fall of the House of Usher. If you don't,
Yeah.
know. Go check it out. It's really, really.
It
good.
is really good.
I will.
So I decided to talk about Harlequins because it's like the one thing that scares the absolute living fuck out of me
Yeah.
Oh, I hate
every
them.
time.
Hate them.
I feel like
Every
you. I
time.
know you've talked about it before,
A little bit, yeah.
but what one?
I don't know.
I don't
I've talked
know
about
what
it
episode
across
was,
many
yeah.
episodes.
There was one where you went kind of in detail with it.
Yeah, with the story of Dan Mitchell and his lifelong experience seeing a Harlequin almost like it was stalking
yeah,
him.
yeah. That's
oh,
right.
wow.
Horrific story. But I wanted to look a little bit into the background and see if there's more to them over just my fear of one story that I saw. You know?
Yeah.
So the Harlequin's like creature. My tinnitus just started. I can't hear out of one of my ears. That was weird. So the Harlequin itself, as a character, was introduced in the 16th century. So for everybody who went to an American public school, that's the 1500s. And you know him. Plays the role of a fool or an idiot, usually under a king or a master. And then it's revealed that he's just mischievous, smart, intelligent, cunning, and also agile and acrobatic dude who always ends up thwarting his master's plan in some way. or playing a role in that. You see characters like this in a ton of stuff,
Like trickster,
like a
kinda
trickster
stuff?
kind of
Okay.
thing. Like
Like a
the
jester
book
or
Fool,
something.
like
Yeah.
like a jester, like a harlequin.
He said the name.
That's where jesters come from.
What?
Harlequin. It's basically Italian jester.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I knew
the Joker's
Italians,
girlfriend.
of
You
course.
remember?
Okay, that's different.
Harley.
And the,
Harley
and
Quinn.
the cat we know, Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
she's pretty
yeah.
cute. Other than
Trickster.
double
So
bird.
it's and also a weird thing that I found. A weird thing that I found is that the Harlequin usually gets the girl in the stories.
No, that's not real.
It is.
I mean,
Even in the Shakespeare showing, like when there's a jester or a fool played into it, then he usually gets the girl. He ends up being a romantic hero. He starts as the idiot fool and becomes a hero.
then they have to go back to the basement where he lives in his mom's house.
Definitely. No, I
Same.
believe also
Same.
if you like good books, read the book Fool by Christopher Moore. I believe
Yes.
the intro is him jerking off and it's splattering on the stone wall when he's in the gatehouse of the castle.
Oh, great
It's
writer.
such a good book.
Yeah,
It's
he's
an
a great
amazing
writer.
book. It's basically all of these different like Shakespearean things put together in his style, which is very irreverent and modern. It's
They're
really
very
good.
sarcastic. and
Very
modern.
sarcastic.
It's great.
So the name Harlequin actually comes from a French word from a story about a monk that came out in the 11th century.
Oh.
So even further, every time I kept learning about this guy, it pushed him back a little bit further, which is terrifying to me. Basically, the monk was being pursued down the coast of Normandy by a horde of demons who was led by a club-wielding giant who wore a mask. His skin was black, soot black. And
So he looked
in a
like
lot
Justin Trudeau in his
Yeah,
Halloween
exactly.
costume from a few years ago.
yeah, and his mask was very much what you would think when you see a Harlequin, but it was red, and that's kind of where the original colors of the Harlequin were red and black, much like Harley Quinn originally.
Oh, yeah, the checker.
Yeah, the
with
red
diamonds,
and black
yeah.
diamonds, and yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically the French Wild Hunt.
Oh, okay.
Is this story, and the group was called Familia Harlequin, and the leader, whose name was Harlequin, would have his beasts, and they'd follow people in France, chasing the damned souls until they caught up with them and sent them to hell. And that was the whole story. And then, but there's also another earlier reference that might also be related to the naming. There was a knight in the 9th century named Harlequin of Boulogne. And
I'm sure that's correct.
yeah, 100%.
Boulange?
Boulogne. He died fighting the Normans,
Boulanger.
and apparently he was such an asshole that he started, like, his death started a bunch of legends in the area of devils coming out from the battleground and from him and fucking with people. So, an even earlier reference in the 9th century, which is kind of terrifying. But the earliest known appearance of a stage show Harlequin was in 1262. And at the time, he looked a little different. It was a hooded character, but it had all the same archetypal stuff. I always talk with my hands.
Isn't that
No, she said during
Crusades?
Crusade.
During the Crusades? Yeah, I thought you said,
In the
why is he talking with his
1200s.
hands?
Sorry,
Yeah, in the 1200s. So
like Jesus.
Wow.
that's a long time ago. So he also kind of became a symbol of class divide, which is great. We love classism here.
Oh yeah.
And so he was kind of the middle ground between the kings and the peasants, and he usually became a hero for the underclass.
Okay.
Please refer to them as what they are, the poors.
Oh, the
poor.
poors.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
We love classism here because it keeps those people away from
And
us.
we love to be called the poors.
The
I
poors.
feel
Yes,
good
we
about
I
me.
love being called the poors.
Yeah, we all get it.
You can eat cake.
Mm-hmm.
So this archetype of the Harlequin, it has a lot of similar characteristics to the fox spirit archetype in Asian lore.
Which is kind of like an
It's
agent of like
a
chaos,
trickster,
right? Oh,
kind of
okay.
Yes.
chaotic,
Yeah.
always messing messing with people, and also the coyote in indigenous lore.
Okay,
'Cause the
yeah.
coyote was also a
Oh,
very
yeah.
trickster thing.
I didn't realize. I didn't.
Yeah, I
Never
didn't know
made
there was
that
a
connection.
tie.
So
Yeah.
it's super interesting that, you know, my favorite thing is when multiple cultures and multiple times come up with the same archetypes.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes into what Carl Jung researched a lot of. And what's his name? Joseph Campbell? Yeah, Joseph Campbell. And even Freud, to a point, kind of studied this idea of an archetype within human beings, innate to human beings. But now I'm going to talk about DMT.
Sweet.
even
Dimethyltryptamine.
better.
Smoke it, get high as shit, see the machine elves, go to another dimension.
Hey, welcome to
Throw
Joe
up.
Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, hey, welcome. So in
We're
the
gonna
book,
do a sensory deprivation tank real quick on DMT.
a lot of our modern
Whoa.
information from or
I'm
about
gonna float in
DMT.
this tank, but face
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. You know, Carl Jung did towards the end of his life. He was doing a lot of float tank stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
He smoked DMT, got in a float tank, and rolled.
Oh my god, I was
Oh.
just kidding.
And at the time, he was living with it. I talked about it on the show. He was living with his ex-wife,
No, I think
Really?
it's the next thing.
and his ex-wife like heard a voice
Oh.
basically saying like, "You should go check." yeah. Gurgle, gurgle. No, but she basically heard a voice that said, "You should go check on him." Saved his life.
Yep.
He would have been dead
Trust
so
that
quick.
gut.
Exactly. So, a lot of our modern knowledge of DMT experiences comes from DMT, the spirit molecule. It came out in 2000, and a lot of it is just trip reports, which I love reading trip reports.
Oh, it's
This
so
is so
fun.
cool.
Yep.
But the thing in this book that it kind of pointed out towards the end was that a ton of people on DMT reported seeing clowns, jokers, jesters, and harlequins.
Oh no.
A ton of people. Like, statistically significant amount of people.
Explains the tattoos.
It really, yeah, right?
Clown tattoos.
And the Insane Clown Posse
In 2016.
Yeah.
in 2016.
Yeah.
Oh my God, full circle.
It's all
In the
DMT.
episode. This is the last story of the episode.
Done.
All those
because of that.
infants who were read
We
DMT, the
tied
spirit
it all back
molecule,
together.
were 16 in 2016, and they all took DMT.
Oh my god. Yeah, the fact that many people different people in different walks of life can take a drug and see the same thing
Yeah, it's
is
either
fascinating.
clowns and stuff like that, or the machine elves. Those are the two most reportedly common, or most commonly reported entities. That, and there's a guardian that shows up in Tibetan lore, which is really interesting.
Oh.
That a lot of people report, and a lot of smaller religions also report. It's the guardian, or he usually has a ton of eyes, and he's kind of the guy who
Oh
either
yes.
blocks you from going somewhere,
Yeah.
going deeper, or sometimes he's like, okay, come deeper with me a little bit.
Right.
And that's commonly reported
Yes,
as well.
I remember the guy with the entity with that was covered in eyes.
Yeah. In
And-
Tibetan lore, his name's Za or Ja.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I know that biblically an angel is described as a creature with
Many eyes.
many eyes, and so
Amorphous,
I think
many
some
eyes.
people who see it think angels. Some people
Some
who
people
see
see,
it,
yeah.
they just see what their background experience
And that's also
helps them to name
that's
what
been-
everyone else is seeing.
That's been kind of theorized that it's willing to adapt itself to what you want to see, because it helps kind of distract you from going that, beyond whatever they're guarding or whatever it is.
Yeah, what are machine elves? I'm not familiar.
Little dwarf-like figures.
Dwarf, whatever.
Yeah, they're called machine elves, but
Okay.
but they're little,
Cyborgs.
almost like imps.
Oh.
Sometimes they are described as kind of cyborgy,
Like clockworky.
kinda,
kind
and
of.
and they're kind of like, some people are like, oh, I was going through this magical weird realm with plants I couldn't recognize,
Robot
and
goblins.
there was this little guy, and he was like working on a panel.
Oh.
And then he saw me coming up, and then he closed the panel, and it disappeared. It's stuff like that. Like they
That's
go
cool.
in. Some people report that the machine elves go to you, and they like do open brain surgery
Oh wow, that's so cool.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, the machine part.
Seeing beyond the matrix.
There's almost like a machine type aspect to it, which
Hmm.
is like an electrical like
like their
thing,
maintenance crew.
like they're a maintenance crew. Yeah.
yeah.
for your brain
so
experience.
weird.
Wow.
I would love to do DMT one day,
Hmm.
just once.
I'm definitely curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wondered about it.
I will see that shit that's on
Yeah, I'm not jazzed about
YouTube.
that part of it though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I hope I get the machine elves and not the Harlequin. Jesus. So they would also describe these. They would always use wording similar to like trickster, like these things. These I'm gonna say Harlequins, but all-encompassing term at this point. They would do impossible tricks and performances, like almost like trapeze artists, but there's no trapeze, or like things that are obvious. You're in a DMT realm, so they can kind of get away with more. But they'll do these mind-bending tricks. And sometimes they would even only show up in dimensions that almost had like a carnival-esque theme to them. Yeah, people would hear music.
That's crazy.
Like that. Or like the weird stripes, like carnival stripes and just weird shit. And I don't like that. And Carl Jung theorized that manifestations like this are a result of the collective unconscious. He was big on collective unconscious. Human beings we're conscious beings, we have our own conscious, and then we share, as a species, some kind of collective unconsciousness.
Everyone knows that carnies are creepies.
Yeah.
Association.
I mean, that's kind of the thing.
Welcome back to Coast to Coast.
I'm
your host.
I love Coast to Coast.
They tried some experiments. Art Bell tried some experiments like that back in his show, trying to... He felt like they were somewhat successful, and I can't remember the specific what they were trying for, but he had enough of a worldwide audience that they tried to manipulate
it was an
something
egregore
that was,
or something.
Yeah, something that was measurable, and he felt like it
they're
had
like
worked.
everybody, focus your thoughts, concentrate on this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And so Carl Jung believes that archetypes that are commonly found in myths and legends across all cultures they come from this collective unconsciousness.
I mean, it goes back to exactly what you said with the coyote, the fox, the trickster.
I have more examples.
Because of those similar...
Side note, the reason why I know Carl Jung is because he quotes, he's quoted a lot in the Psychology of the Legend of Zelda.
Oh,
because
fancy.
No way.
I know.
Hell
but,
yeah.
But it's because he actually introduced the hero archetype.
Yes.
That has been
yeah.
around for generations.
Yeah, I talk about the hero, the father, the mother.
Yeah.
We go into that.
It's so interesting.
It's super interesting.
And that also comes from the collective unconsciousness.
Yeah, that's what what he thinks. So his theory is that we are born with this shared unconsciousness, these universal images and archetypes, for some reason.
Isn't that the same with animals? Isn't that how we think that animals can, like, it's passed down almost? Of like
it's almost like a generational thing.
Like animals and like cats never seen a car before or whatever.
But they know instinctively to avoid a car. Or tons of animals know not to eat certain things, even if they don't have the standard physical indicators of danger.
Okay, I was just going to try to repeat, because I wasn't sure if that would get picked up in the regular episode, just because it would go quiet, and then you'd be like, yeah!
Oh, yeah, maybe.
But yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You basically repeated what she said.
So Freud also had an idea. He called it unexplained archaic remnants, where it's the same thing. Like there's something, some innate ability, some innate thing. And
here,
so Jung...
I'll cover it. You're good.
Yeah. Here, go ahead and slurp on there. Perfect. Nobody can tell. So Jung believed that the archetypes in general represent motifs of human experience over time. So, like, evolutionarily, we've developed these physical, like, these archetypes over time that are intended to teach us things. Like, that's dangerous. That guy's an asshole. Don't do this, do this. Almost like a generational education. Mm-hmm. That just over time, and because it's in your unconscious mind, we don't exactly know it or understand it in our conscious state. But he explains that's why some people innately see a clown and shit themselves, or some people innately see a spider and shit themselves and are afraid of them despite never having a negative experience with those, you know? That's kind of the idea. So a lot of the other archetypes that he's
It's like cops
uncovered.
Cops when they see black people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
It's innate.
It's an innate evolution. Let's roll that back. Roll back the tapes. So, other archetypes are like the wise old man. You know, every story has a wise old man.
Despite never meeting
A wise old man.
person.
Yeah.
I that does make sense.
Or you have the hero
The math
that
checks
she was
out.
talking about. You know, in every story you have the Gilgamesh. You know, you have the hero, the Hercules, the maiden.
Was not a hero. Well, he was.
Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He killed that giant
Yeah.
with the radiance. Yeah. So the hero, the maiden, the trickster shows up a ton in these stories. So an analyst, a Carl Jung analyst named Joseph Campbell. So basically, after Jung was dead, this guy went in and was like, let's analyze his research and really understand it better. He coined the term monomyth, which he was basically able to... He looked at a ton of myths and stories, and he was able to find, you know, the hero's journey, basically a template for every story, every big story in history and every culture matches this criteria. And that criteria is the call to adventure, the road of trials, the boon, the return to the ordinary world, and then the application of the boon. And that can be applied to basically every story in the Bible, you know, every story of creation or anything from any culture, every video game. Like, George Lucas
Yes.
said, hey, thanks, Joseph Campbell, because you uncovered this, and that's how I formed, you know, finished writing Star Wars.
Yep.
Like, it's in everything. And I think that's really interesting. Is that just some biological, that's why or how our brain is wired, or, you know, maybe some collective unconscious thing is what they're putting forward? It's interesting.
I had a theory of that when it was just me thinking many, many years ago, and I think I talked to you and your sister about it when you were a lot younger, but I had this idea in my mind that cells have a memory.
Yeah.
And when they're passed from generation to generation, that stays with you. And it was just, you know, it wasn't based on anything. It was just thoughts that I had. How does stuff like this work? Well, that was the closest I could come to it.
I mean, wouldn't that make sense with like cell regeneration and everything with your body healing? Like, wouldn't those cells technically have to
have the
you're not
memory
going to
of
grow
what
a
they
fucking
were.
tree out of your arm when you
Right.
heal. It's going to be
Yeah, well, the idea
there's
is it's DNA.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
differentiation
Isn't that
of cells.
because of DNA?
Yeah.
But there's a ton of DNA that we have that just doesn't do anything that we know about.
That's-
How?
But it could be
how,
exactly
yeah,
what you're
how,
saying.
how?
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, maybe that unused in our understanding DNA is the memory,
yeah.
because that unused DNA, as far as I know, can change and it doesn't do anything to us.
Huh.
So it's definitely kind of down that line of thinking of that genetic memory, the Assassin's Creed genetic memory thing.
Okay.
For a good
super
Assassin's Creed episode, check out
Hashashin's Creed. Hey, good.
Season 2,
Three?
3, episode 2.
I think it's 3.
It's like the one
I
right
didn't do
after,
anything
yeah.
worth.
right after the.
I didn't do
first
anything
episode of the
worth listening to in season 2. So. So yeah, it's kind of this. He came out with this monomyth type thing, and the trickster's a part of that story. I mean, you can look at a lot of Egyptian or Greek or Roman lore, and there's so many times that dude shows up and just stirs the pot.
Yep.
And just fucks with people enough to begin the journey or
There's
something.
always a trickster god. In
Always.
every mythology, there's always a trickster god.
Always.
Yeah.
Even in Christianity, the devil.
Yeah.
He's always called the trickery, trickster,
Yeah,
whatever.
trickster
It's
guy.
so interesting.
Even in Christianity, D and AJ,
That's our book. That's our memoir.
the pot stirrers.
It's great, but I found another theory is that like the trickster in stories kind of represents the autonomy of nature, but also the randomness of nature. You see it, you know, the trickster is here, and you know, so much in life is just down to randomness of what's going to happen to you, and that's kind of what the trickster does.
That's
he
the
throws.
chaos.
It's the chaos.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I always think in a lot of representations and research about DMT and things, people take a concerted effort to stay focused on positive experiences. Even in like UFO stories and stuff, they're always like, no, they're trying to help or whatever, even though there's blatantly horrible things happening. So I think it's that, in my experience, the autonomy and randomness of nature, that chaos. But I definitely feel like there's more of a malevolent side to it sometimes, because the trickster gods are always, they're getting what they want out of it. Yep. They're not working just to start the hero on his journey or to do something. They're doing it for a reason. They have their own reasoning.
Yeah,
reasons.
basically.
There's a word.
Little callback here. Hashashin's Creed, season 4, episode 9.
Perfect.
Nice.
And then I found
I
another...
remembered that on my own.
I have no idea. Yeah,
With
definitely.
no help.
Yeah,
No
nobody
help.
that was holding up fingers.
From your manager.
Or,
Yeah, from our manager.
Yeah, literally our manager.
Yeah.
No joke. If we end up, like, getting deals and shit,
You're
our
doing
agent.
it. You're the agent. So I also found this interesting quote it says, many native traditions held clowns and tricksters as essential to any contact with the sacred. People could not pray until they had laughed, because laughter opens and frees from rigid preconception.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Interesting
I like that.
quote.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it kind of goes back to things that I've talked about, where I always say the paranormal can't happen unless there's that chance that it can be disproven. A lot of people experience in seances that nothing happens until the group is friendly with each other, until they get to know each other, they start laughing, or they're chummy with each other a little bit, and then experiences happen. It's almost like the energy needs to be this more, like the quote said, this laughter kind of needs to be there.
Huh.
And I don't know
See, that's
why, but
we
something
would-
sticks
that's
out.
why
I don't
we would
understand
never
it.
see a ghost, because you fucking hate me. So.
Yeah.
It'll never ever work.
Off screen,
Despite
I
everything
hate
I've
you.
done to try to get your approval, Dad.
Yeah.
Daddy! I feel the tension.
This is
in
my
here.
coming to terms with it episode.
Yeah, we did it.
Do you need help?
A lot.
Okay.
So much.
Blink twice if
Yeah.
you need help getting out of here.
But yeah, I think that's interesting that was said about these, these sacred rituals that have to have this laughter in it first.
Really, it was just one
It
guy that was
kinda
like, I
plays
just
into
don't
it.
want somebody that I don't fucking vibe with in here.
Yeah, I mean,
It's all about
how
the
many,
vibe.
I've
Yeah.
heard. I was gonna say, how many poltergeist
Not
stories
Zen.
have you guys heard? You guys don't read this stuff like I do. I'm a psycho. I understand. But there are tons of like the poltergeist of Humpty
Yeah,
Doo,
you
which
said
is
it.
great because of the name.
Humpty Dumpty Doo?
No, the poltergeist of Humpty Doo.
Oh.
Humpty Doo is a town in Australia.
I was just going to ask, is that Australia?
Yeah. Yep. You knew it.
The Goblin of... Oh, my God.
The Goblin of
names-
Gumbly-Gook.
Yes.
You mispronounce it. It's
Go-
Cunty Doo.
No, it's Cunty Doo. No, it's go Gebbly Techly or something like that.
What?
Oh, they've got...
It's a mountain. It's a mountain in Australia.
That's
They have this
amazing.
craziest
I
cool
love
names,
it.
It's
but
super cool.
they're wild.
But like a lot of those experiences didn't happen until the family put their guards down, and then a hot rock would be thrown at them or
They
something.
call hot rocks gobbledygooks.
Yeah,
Yes.
they do. Yeah, cut warmers.
Probably. That one's canon.
Yeah, that one is Ken.
Jesus.
So yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting. I shortened down. There's you can find books worth of psychology on archetypes and tricksters and the monomyth and stories and stuff like that. But then I did the classic, let's see what Reddit thinks.
Oh my god.
Oh, goody.
So I just have a
Always.
collection of stories where I so basically, if you look up Harlequin paranormal experiences, you get one. Something just
Hello?
is that the Harlequin?
Speaking of Harlequin paranormal stuff.
Something just fell over.
It was just my hiking bag.
Yeah, it just fell over. Wasn't even touched. We're all over here.
Wow.
It was definitely a ghost.
Ah!
Shh. You gotta
My,
give me a
my
bite
butt
of that.
just went all up into my own body. That
Yeah,
was
I know. That was kind of. That
The
was
best
kind
is
of.
that
I'm
that
freaked out
sound
too.
might actually
I hope it
get
gets
picked
picked
up.
up.
It might, yeah. I'll have to check back later.
Yeah.
Okay.
scared.
But yeah, if you look up, that's weird that I was explaining this right when that happened. But if you look up Harlequin paranormal experiences, basically only the Dan Mitchell
Well,
story
now there's
shows
going
up.
to be 2, and we have audio evidence
Hell yeah.
of it.
But if you look up clown paranormal experiences, they show up like crazy.
Gross.
And to me, that's a similar enough character that any idiot in America is going to say clown over Harlequin.
Yes.
That's fair, yeah.
So as a kid,
Me.
about 6 or 7 years old, I fell in my grandparents' yard and hurt myself. My grandfather was an old war vet, so he, looked at my wound, dropped just pure iodine right onto it. I screamed.
Oh.
I cried. He left the room to go get a bandage or something. And this kid sees the window curtains open. And they describe it as a cross between Maleficent and a Harlequin.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Popped its head in to the room and just screamed. There's, ah! Probably a lady scream.
Yeah.
Ah! Like that. Yeah, like that. and it stopped. I mean, obviously the kid was shocked, so the kid stopped crying and was like, what the fuck was that? Staring at it. And then it popped his head back out the window. And it left. And then Grandpa came in and just started bandaging him up. And he was like...
Poured a gallon of alcohol.
Yeah.
Grain alcohol
acid.
into the
No,
wound.
like iodine.
Into his mouth and then went right onto the wound.
With a
Perfect.
flame.
Yeah.
Let's sear this
Cauterize
fucker
this.
closed.
I learned this one in Nam.
You thought you saw something scary in that clown woman back there. Grandpa's gonna breathe fire on you.
That's my mistress. But yeah, he didn't mention it to the grandfather because he was like, what the fuck is happening? But he immediately went out into the backyard to see if there was something still there, and there was nothing there, obviously.
He's like, hey, I want to see that fucking terrifying woman again.
Why do you think he saw it in that moment?
I bet it just was
A moment
like,
of
reaction?
hey,
Stress?
Yeah,
which one of us
stress?
would not hear a baby crying, look at it, scream to get it to stop, and then leave so that it's finally
yeah.
fucking quiet?
It was Grandpa.
It was
Grandpa went into the other room and he was like, oh my god, this fucking kid.
This kid needs to shut the fuck up.
It's
I'm gonna put
just
on my kink
iodine.
outfit.
And then he sees the magnetic like fridge magnet that's
It's wicked.
Maleficent mask. He's like, yeah, fuck it.
This little pussy. I got something for him.
Yeah.
This'll scare that blood to stop coming out.
Yeah, it scares the blood back in, yeah. But, so interestingly enough, this guy never saw it again, but he heard stories through the years from his mother and some aunts and uncles about the grandparents' house, and that they all saw something weird there at different times, but there's nothing ever as clear as this.
Huh.
And I was just like, yeah, I saw something weird there. Yeah, I saw something weird there.
Everybody in the family's like, yeah, I saw that fucking really creepy jester Harlequin lady. No
Yeah.
big deal. Like, we've
It's
all
fine.
seen her. Fuck it.
It's fine. But it did bring up the interesting idea of that kind of generational
Yeah.
concept that some people even report, like, UFO experiences are very, especially from the 60s when they were abductees, it was so common that it followed your family. Where this mother would be experiencing this weird shit, pretending like it's not real, and then the kids start showing up with weird rashes or bumps, or any of the old telltale signs of the old abductees. But it's an interesting concept, especially because we were talking about that generational memory, but the concept that potentially generational experiences.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the concept that being more inclined to see the paranormal, whatever you want to call it, mediumship or psychic or anything, ESP, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, how would a Ghostbuster describe it? How would Dan
Ghosts,
Aykroyd
spooks,
He's got
inspectors.
the spookies.
yeah, is also theorized to be genetic, to be passed down in families, sometimes skipping a generation. And I don't know. I think there's something to it. Maybe just it's a brain defect. There's just yeah.
You got a nice, colorful, like clown-type tumor in your brain. You just pass it on. To
Just
your
pass it
family.
on down.
Yep.
Nice little
In your
genetic
clown
brain
zone.
tumor. Yeah.
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 But then think of like movies. How many
Genetic clown
horror movies involve? Yeah. How many horror movies involve clowns? Obviously, there's It, but like as a side character, like Poltergeist, the little
that's
clown
right.
doll. Like
Yeah,
that.
gross.
Why did they throw that in? Besides the fact that that is fucking terrifying. But why is that fucking terrifying?
Because it's a puppet. It's
It's not because it's a clown. It's because
fucking puppet.
it's a puppet.
No, that's a.
But in the movie, it was
that's
a doll.
No, that's yeah.
That's a double whammy.
Yeah.
It's too. It's
It's
just so
both.
big. It looks like one of those like large marionette.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that marionette Harlequin thing. The marionettes, I think, are in the same field as the clown Harlequin thing.
Yeah.
Especially in, like, you made us watch that Japanese horror
Yeah,
show.
I actually talked to I recommended one of my boss this week.
That Harlequin or that marionette
Oh my
episode is
God,
fucking horrific.
So good though.
So
It's if you guys are curious, it's Junji Ito. Is
How do you spell that?
Junjiito.
Perfect.
He does like Japanese macabre horror, and it's unsettling
Netflix.
as fuck. There's a new one
It's really
that's there's a new one that's coming out that's I think through Adult Swim.
oh, cool.
That they're following his mangas like to a T.
Ooh,
Like the
terrifying.
drawings are almost identical.
That's cool.
I'll show some of
I
that stuff
know.
to you.
Because his manga
It is so unsettling.
That's amazing.
The new one, they're actually doing everything
This.
in strictly
Yes.
black and white.
Yes, I know this stuff. I've seen this before.
yeah.
They're doing
It's
the new
creepy.
stuff like strictly black and white, so that it's
Oh,
exactly
so
like
cool.
that.
Ooh, wow.
But yeah, there's Tales of a Japanese Macabre on Netflix. It's not as good as his original work, but I believe
It's still
this
good.
one's either inspired or it is his second work.
Wow, that's cool.
But yeah, creepy shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was interesting. What did I... Oh, I thought they both started the exact same 5 words. This story and the previous one. So this one, 5 or 6 year old dude and a younger brother who was probably 4 at the time. They were living in a shitty part of probably Detroit. And they were
There's a good part of Detroit?
Chicago.
No, I said a bad part.
No, the good part of Detroit is downtown where no one
The good
else
part of
is.
Detroit
Yeah.
is outside
It's in
of Detroit.
Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
The best part.
40
Yes.
miles away.
Yep.
So they lived in a very bad town in Southern California. They were just playing in the front yard as you do as kids in the 80s. And the town, it was a smaller town, but it had a reputation for just having like, overdose today, car accident tomorrow,
Oh, okay, so
a string of murders.
They definitely lived in
Like-
Oakland or Compton.
Yeah,
One of the
Oakland or
two,
Compton,
yeah.
exactly. And
Or Bakersfield.
Or Provo.
Let's be honest. Yeah.
so
I
they
hate that place.
terrible roast park.
Shithole.
So they were just playing outside and they heard laughter coming from across the street. It was the meth dealer trying to sell them no.
Oh,
And so they stopped what they were doing and they looked across the street, and it's basically like a shitty apartment building that is not enclosed between the two. It just has the
alleyway.
the
yeah.
alleyway
Like-
between
Okay.
them up the multiple stories. And on one of the upper balconies, they just see a clown laughing.
Oh, no.
Fuck?
What year was this?
Probably the 80s or
Okay.
90s.
Yeah, I think you started saying it was the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, playing in New York.
That was based on context clues.
Oh, okay.
So this clown is laughing, and the clown pulls out an umbrella and floats down from the balcony,
No.
landed right in
Mary
front of them.
Poppins looking ass.
Pulls out a red balloon. A red balloon floats down.
Oh yeah. No, he lands in front of them where they're playing, and the clown starts talking to them, but he can't remember what he said because he was 6 and he's probably in his 30s when he wrote
Oh.
this. But he can't remember what he's saying. But he just remembers that the clown was super loud and would move his would move his arms wildly when he talked.
It was really just a guy in a clown costume with autism.
Yes.
He's like, "Hey kids, hey, hi!" And he started telling them about like the economics
Trains.
of the '80s and trains and how both of those things are linked.
The Sidewinder XLR. Yeah. So he then pulled out 2 very large circus-style lollipops and handed them to them.
Oh,
Said one more thing, pulled out his umbrella, and floated back up
Oh no.
What?
into the balcony
No,
and then
no.
walked inside
No.
one of the apartments.
Nope.
Don't go
I
trick or
don't like
treating
it.
at that.
So
apartment.
he's
No, I don't like
shitting himself, basically. But
Me too.
as with a lot of people who have weird experiences, how do you process that? A lot of people shut down, they go to sleep, or they can't do anything, so they just go on with their day.
Mm-hmm.
And he always was like, I must have imagined that. Because he was 5 or 6 years old. Like, I have memories where I'm like, did I make that up, or
Yeah.
did that happen? And
Maybe
I don't know.
A false memory.
Yeah, that's
like
what he always thought. When he was 19, he and his brother were hanging out with some friends, talking about some strange experience, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just bring this up," and he starts to retell the story, and his brother's like,
Oh.
I thought I made that up. I thought that was like a nightmare or
Jesus.
something." And he said his eyes were wide, his jaw dropped to the floor, and he said that the brother remembered it, and the brother started explaining some of the details, like continuing the story from where he had
damn.
started it, and he continued it, and they finished it together, and they were both like,
No
"What
thanks.
the fuck?
Oh.
We're not going back to Oakland."
Jesus,
Isn't that
no kidding.
terrifying?
Yeah,
That's awful.
Just the imagery that came into my mind. It was really
It's so
creepy.
horrific. And I find it that when you're sharing or hearing or reading about stories like this, it is too easy to imagine them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's the collective unconsciousness. Maybe that's just because we all know what clowns look like.
Mm.
But there's just something about it that is so strikingly clear. I've got one more little story. Bob grew up in Nolens. When he
Lots
was
of
a-
jester stuff in Nolens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When he was a child, his mom took him to stay at his aunt's house for a few weeks. I don't know, maybe his parents were getting a divorce or something.
Chances are good.
They were going on a sex vacation.
Okay.
So, Bob
do.
did not like his aunt. Aunt was a little mean. Aunt didn't have kids, so Aunt didn't really know how to handle a kid.
Maybe she needs a sex vacation.
She definitely needed a sex vacation.
She needs to cuck her husband really bad.
No
Nolens.
husband.
No husband. She was single.
Oh.
And
She needs to cuck somebody on what is it, Bourbon Street?
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I don't know. He just described that she had a weird vibe. She had a weird aura. You know how when you're around people,
Yeah.
anybody who approaches you in public,
Yes.
they just
Yes,
feel so weird.
Why it happens to me? Still, we'll never know.
So his family used to joke that the aunt was involved in voodoo. But they were just kind of like joking around. But it kind of planted the
No,
idea
no,
in his
no,
brain.
no.
Because
Come
she's
on,
just
man.
some white bitch.
That's got to come
Yeah.
from somewhere.
Maybe. So most of the time at the aunt's place was uneventful, with the exception of a house rule that she had. This house rule was, you're not allowed in the kitchen.
You don't touch my voodoo drawer.
You don't my food. You don't touch my voodoo KitchenAid.
There's human meat in there for a reason.
It's just a wooden spoon that just stirs itself.
There's this really weird room in her house where everyone she met, there was just a doll made out of pine cones.
Oh my
Twine.
god.
It
No,
looked identical to them.
she's
It was
like,
the weirdest thing, but
second rule-
I never thought
yeah.
anything different of it.
Second
fine.
rule: if you eat my ass, you will get a flesh-eating bacteria. So don't do that, nephew. So Bob didn't understand why. He wasn't allowed to question it. He just didn't go into the kitchen.
Kitchen's kind of a central part of a lot of like homes, so that's
Yeah.
I mean, it's
interesting.
also directly connected to the gathering place of homes, which is
The dining
Your
room or the
dining
front
room.
room.
Yes,
or-
yeah.
Yeah.
stupid rule.
yeah.
So it was weird, and being a kid,
it
yeah.
closes off half the house.
Yeah,
The kid's
exactly.
like, I can't even
I
go
can't go to the
downstairs
bathroom.
because I have to go
Yeah,
through the kitchen.
I have to go through the window, through the screen. You put your ass against the screen and
Waffle stomp.
waffle
one
stomp it right through.
Has to crawl in through basement windows
Yeah.
to get into his
get into
the
his
guest
room.
room where he
Yeah.
stays.
So he was like, okay, this is weird. But as a kid at a kind of a new place, he hears weird things. He can't sleep very well. It makes sense. So he started, some nights, he said he heard his aunt talking to people in the kitchen at night.
Oh my god.
He was like, is she like calling people? They have phones at this point.
No, she was just the type that, like, she's like, speaking to bread while it's proofing makes it.
yeah, definitely. And then
You're such a good loaf.
It's a healthy little loaf.
in some of the mornings, he would say, like, hey, did you have people over last night? Like, she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Shut up, kid. Shut the fuck up, Squirt.
Bob.
Robert. Another detail about his aunt. She really liked dolls.
No.
She
Get out of here.
And his mouth is sewn shut like 50 times over the top
Pins
of
in his
each
heart.
thing.
And she put
like her
them on
prized
display
possession.
all over the house. It was one of those houses.
Oh,
No.
this
Oh.
is creepy. No.
And he hated them, obviously, as a child, as a normal human.
Bro,
He hated them.
I just gotta say,
Our manager likes dolls.
Yeah,
I
and
gotta
it's weird.
say,
it's too scary.
I don't allow them in my house, though.
every single person that's over 70 that likes collecting things, it's always fucked up stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like
Oh.
dolls.
It's not like, oh, I collect something cool.
Spleens.
They're like, oh, I collect marionettes, or I
Yeah.
collect like broken Cabbage Patch
I collect the
Kids.
demons,
Like,
so the voices
yeah.
in my head sound like they're coming from somewhere.
I taxidermy in my basement. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? I'm trying to do it a human for like
Yeah.
one more time before I die. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I've been to homes like that just have dolls everywhere.
It's terrifying.
And it's just like, it's scary, but it's so fucking weird. Even when they're like the porcelain face,
Those
like,
are the worst.
Those are the worst.
the little baby dolls. Like, it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with your collection style? Like, collect baseball cards. Don't do this
Magic
weird
the
shit.
Gathering cards,
Yeah.
Grandma.
Yeah, get into fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Damn.
Jeez.
Is that a
Yeah.
Pokemans?
Yeah. So
My
there
Yuki
was,
house.
of course, one central location, a display
Hoagie?
cabinet in the front room that was just full of them, like a glass front display. And he didn't even like walking in front of it because he said he just felt like he was being watched because he is.
Well, that
by
he also wasn't allowed
dozens
to.
of porcelain eyes.
She's like, you don't go into the kitchen and this 3x3
You don't
square
touch.
in front of my glass cabinet.
But, of course, as with those kind of people who collect dolls like that, she would a lot of times carry one around with her.
Oh no.
Okay, so I saw this thing the other day that was like, when old people are like, oh, we didn't have autism back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And it's like, it cuts to this old lady and she's like, don't touch my blue glass china that we're never going to eat on. It's just going to stay dusted and I know everything about it.
Yeah.
It's just saying, this lady is just fucking rough. She's struggling.
Yeah. So,
You know?
yeah.
Yup.
So, yeah, she would carry around this doll, and yes, it was a clown doll.
Why?
It was a
Why?
porcelain clown doll.
Oh, it's so
She would carry it
weird,
around.
dude.
She would treasure it. She loved it. Anytime she would
Kiss
move
it on the
from
mouth.
one room to another, she would bring it with. When she was in a room, she would like set it up
No.
and then do whatever it is, and then bring it to the next room. Fucking psychotic.
She would put a stick in its hand, like whip him with it when he was
Yeah.
in trouble. She's like, it's him doing it.
I tried to talk him out of it, but he just won't. He just won't
This kid's
listen.
like, oh god.
So one night, towards the end of his stay, he smelled his aunt baking something. So she was definitely talking to the proofing bread.
Well, yeah.
He
He's-
just wants the little
yeah.
clown making dough.
Yeah, oh
Just
god, with the
eating
little
tiny
hands.
hands.
little dough covered porcelain hands.
Yeah. Ugh.
Little flour on its cheek.
Yeah.
It's like-
Oh my god.
It's mixing like ground meat and everything. We're having burgers later in the
No,
little clown.
thank you. Just slapping the
Tiny
patties.
little handprints.
It's
in
just
it.
these.
Yeah. Making little meatballs.
Fuck that. He's like, this is why he has
my
problems with
God.
it. He's immediately traumatized because
Yeah.
he's just seen this clown baking shit. You don't go in there because he's the cook of this house. This is his domain.
So he smells something sweet, like a cake or cookies or something. He's like, that's weird because it's 1 a.m. or whatever.
So he goes down.
Shaking.
So I'm gonna go down and he can hear her talking.
No.
to
Oh god,
people.
this is so creepy.
And so he was excited. He was a kid. He didn't think about the stay out of the kitchen rule. So he just ran into the kitchen. And
If there's cookies, I'm running too.
Oh yeah.
exactly. If there's cookies, we're running.
I'm not running, but I'm walking briskly.
Yes. Well, I can't.
I don't want to have to eat my cookies and breathe at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna be out of breath eating cookies. Fuck that.
No.
I ain't running for no food.
Nope.
So he runs in, he hears, the conversation, and like any time she's in a room, the doll is just sitting up on the counter and hanging out, and he's running in, and he sees the doll's mouth moving, talking in a grown man's voice to his aunt.
That's a good scream.
That was
Pretty
good.
good.
The clown turned its head, looks at Bob,
No.
Hello, Robert.
and then, he turns his head, and then the aunt frantically scoots him out of the kitchen and says, Don't you ever come in the kitchen. That's the one rule. You're not allowed to do that. Push him out of the kitchen.
I'm on a date.
Yeah.
No!
And as he's being rushed back to his room, he hears a man laughing. Just a full adult man's voice from the clown doll.
He's like,
laughing.
get the fuck out of the kitchen.
No, he's like, ho, 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 ho.
Ho, 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 oh.
And it was after...
Ho, ho, ho. Jesus.
Ho, ho, ho.
It's the Christmas episode.
No, but he went back
What is
to
this,
bed.
Hobby Lobby?
Did not sleep. Oh God.
It's half,
Now, where are the Dead
half
Sea Scrolls?
Halloween, and then the last half of the episode is Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's, the Dollar Tree special.
Perfect. So he barely left his room after that. Like he refused to leave the room. He barely slept. And the aunt was like, "No, come out, come have dinner." He's like, "No, I saw that clown talking." She's like, "No,
why are
no,
you uncomfortable?
No, you were imagining it. You were imagining it." And he never went back to the aunt's house after that.
Hell
He would
no.
refuse to do it for the rest of his life.
It was a ploy by her.
Yeah,
Hear
to
me out.
scare him.
She hated that fucking kid. She had a ventriloquist clown doll, and she heard him coming up the
across
stairs.
the room.
She's like, "He's gonna come into the kitchen." Like I told him not to, and she's just like,
No. For
Teddy
her,
Ruxpin.
there is a dude in the counter underneath.
Yeah.
So she was on a date. They were just playing with dolls.
Well, she's into dolls.
"Yeah, she's on it. She's on a
Yeah,
date."
she
The
likes
dude's-
playing.
She likes
the
seeing
dude's
a doll
fucking
jar.
eating her out, so she also had to do the voice at the same time. She was still a ventriloquist. It's got to be in there
the
because
doll,
it's creepy.
the doll,
puppeteering with your mouth full.
no, the doll was definitely going down on her.
Yeah. He's
Ooh,
just got-
porcelain.
That's why the kid was fucked up. There were pubes all over the
my
fucking doll's
God.
face.
Oh.
You want some of this
why
bread?
is the clown's makeup
Snow White.
smeared off around his nose and mouth?
Yeah. But yeah, that's my.
Why do you have white and red makeup between your legs, Aunt? God.
Yeah, so clowns, harlequins, jokers, marionettes, all fucking terrifying.
Nope.
I am not going to even try to top that because I have stuff, but like I feel like that's such a solid Halloween story. Everything you've done with it. I feel like anything I go to is like, oh, Reddit comment.
Now,
this.
one more. I want one
Okay,
more.
I
Give us
have
the best
a
one.
long one, and it's just a really fucking disturbing, shitty, unfortunate story.
Perfect. We'll start as soon as Sweet Tea's off his goddamn cell phone.
No, this is
God.
this is
It was a
your.
joke. It was a joke.
I'm one of the
stream.
I'm one of the
We're
followers,
watching the
Dingleberry.
stream.
The real horrors.
You haven't commented.
The real horrors of
Yeah, I didn't
today
want
are to
to.
find out that Sweet Tea does not use dark mode.
Yeah,
No,
that
I
is the
don't.
horror. That is true horror.
No, yeah, I don't know
Hey,
what that is.
Hey, everybody, Dark Reader on it's a Chrome browser extension
Firefox as well.
and Firefox. It's so good.
Anything it,
Dude, it changes the color of my proctoriotes.
it inverts the colors of anything that's not an image file, so it'll make your background and like while you're working solid black, and then
Yeah, no
it'll
shit.
invert the other stuff so that it's just the opposite, and it's so fucking nice.
So nice.
I went from like glowing anytime I would
Yeah,
work
getting
in
a
here,
a slight
like,
tan.
3 screens. Yeah, exactly. Like with the 3 screens, it was just like I was sitting there with
Yeah.
the sun beating down into my face.
That's
And
the
now
only
it's
sun
like-
you get, though.
Yeah.
Now,
I know.
oh, look,
Now I
there's
can
sun
be
coming
even
through this
more
window
pasty
right
like
here.
that.
No, barely.
Okay, so this one I found a few months ago. on an Ask Reddit that was like, hey, what's the most fucked up thing that you've ever experienced on Reddit? And people were talking about like, oh, like
Murder.
the cum jar, like the coconut that one dude fucked, like weird shit like that. I got to this one and I was like, what the fuck? So this guy had posted, I think it was like 2015, 2016, he posted and was like, I found out that my wife is cheating on me, and it's on like relationship advice.
Hot.
Yeah, right? Yeah, this is the sexy.
Luckily, I'm a
part of the
cuck,
show.
so that's perfect.
No, so he found out that his wife had been texting their next door neighbor, who's 51, and he finds out about it, and he's like, I don't know how to even approach her about this. I never expected it. They have 2 kids together. And he's like, and I like don't want to break up our little family. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is very uncharacteristic of her. So he notices because she starts locking her phone. She changes her password on her phone. She's way more protective of it.
Turns out she's Chris Angel.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
And so one day and I don't agree with this approach at all, but this is what happened.
This is the Pressure Points approved
She went
approach.
she went to the shower, and he had watched over her shoulder when she did her passcode, so he figured out how to do it. Went in, like snuck her phone out of the bathroom, and downloaded like basically a screen mirroring app that he could put on his laptop so that he could see what she's doing and saying. So that's when he finds out that it's the next door neighbor who's like 25 years older than her. And
hot.
Yeah, and this dude is dating like their neighbor is dating some other lady too. And
Some bimbo.
he's like, it's weird because my wife had always been like, oh, you know, we should double date with them. We should go on double dates with them. We should do more stuff with them. And I really want to get to know her.
She likes the fear.
So they end up going out to dinner. It goes really well. They get along great. And then he goes, I need to catch her in this. So he's like, well, why don't you 2 women go to a movie next weekend together? And she's like, okay. So they go to a movie the following weekend, and he calls the neighbor over. He's like, yeah, come over. We'll watch like a movie.
Breaking Bad.
We'll watch Breaking Bad. He's like, we'll watch some shit together and just hang out. So the other guy comes over, and he's sitting there, and he keeps like his phone will go off and the neighbor's phone will go off, and he's like, and I get like a Snapchat of like a sexy photo from my wife in like the movie theater bathroom, and he's like, and I glance over and I see he gets the exact same Snapchat from her. So he's like, okay, like fuck it, I'm bringing this up tonight. So they all get back and he goes, hey, and just blatantly just says, hey, look, I know you're cheating on me with him. Like, what the fuck? And she breaks down. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. All this shit. They go through like all of the things that are like, we don't want to get divorced, but we like want to stay together for the kids, which is, you know, so fucking healthy for a child.
What a great thing.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
He ends up telling her, hey, look, we don't really have chemistry together anymore. I still care about you. Just date the guy. Fuck it. I don't want to hear anything about it. Just do your thing.
They're just roommates now.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like, okay, sounds good. They do their thing, and
turd.
He ends up it ends up bothering him more and more and more.
No way.
To the point where he's posting about this and doing updates like every 6 months, I think. And he goes, I'm thinking of approaching her to like finalize a divorce because I can't do this. Like, this is bullshit. And people are like, yeah, you should get a fucking divorce.
Yeah, no shit. Should have done that 6 months ago.
So he goes and he finds a lawyer. He like sits down, gets everything worked out before he even brings it up to her. And at this point, he's now sleeping in the basement. Yeah, he's
Bitch,
making.
If she's cheating,
I know,
she should be sleeping in the basement.
I know. He's making so
like
many sacrifices and shit. So he's sleeping in the basement, and he decides, I'm going to bring it up to her. And he takes the papers up to her, gives them to her, and he's like, hey, I want to finalize a divorce. She's like, you're not going to take my kids away from me. And he's like, we'll split them. Like, I don't want to, like, fully strip you of custody or anything. Like, I want this to be a good divorce. And she's like, yeah, we'll see. So he's like, it's bedtime for me. Goes downstairs, goes to sleep. And then the next update is just, I'm really sorry that I haven't gotten back to you guys. Here's everything that happened. And it's a link. And it goes to an article in Indiana. So, after he had served her the papers, he went back downstairs and went to sleep. She told him, hey, I need to run to Walmart to go pick up pipe cleaners for our son. He's got an art project that's due tomorrow.
I got some pipe cleaners
I
to
gotta help him
sound
build
my
it.
new boyfriend.
So she goes to Walmart. She gets back home, and she bought a knife at Walmart.
Did they not have any knives?
Brand new knife. Nice and sharp and everything. She comes back home, and, like, she kind of just, like, hangs out in the front room and everything. He's passed out downstairs because he's working a shit ton. And a few hours go by, and she goes into their kid's bedroom. She goes up to the son, and she says, hey, the kid slept in 2 different rooms. So she goes into the son's room, and she says, hey, we're going to sleep in your sister's room tonight. We're just going to have a little sleepover. It'll be fun. The son's like, okay. So she goes with the son into the daughter's room. Both of them are under 6, I think. Lights are off and everything. And she cuts the kid's throat.
Damn.
While the daughter is sleeping next to them. And the daughter wakes up and she goes, the daughter's like, what's going on, Mom? And she's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Your brother's just not feeling
Your brother's
well.
just dead.
And then she goes, oh, like, come here. And then cuts the daughter's throat.
Jeez.
Stabs both of them multiple times. And then calls 911. He's still asleep downstairs. He has no fucking idea what's going on.
Shit.
So she calls 911, and, like, I listened to the 911 call, and she's just fucking delusional. She's like, they're like,
911, what's your emergency?
yeah, and she goes,
Operator.
I've murdered both of my children. I need you to send just police.
Oh, I was sure she was gonna pin it on the dude.
That's what I thought it was
She goes,
maybe she was gonna. And then
I need you to send police. An ambulance isn't really necessary anymore.
Whoa.
And they're like, okay, like, what's your name? Like, all this. She had called her mom prior to this phone call and was like, hey, I just killed the kids. I need you to come over. And the mom's like, what? So her mom is headed over. He still has no fucking idea. He's sleeping downstairs. Jeez. The cops show up, and she's on the phone for, like, I think it was like 10 plus minutes. And she's just like, they're like, okay, like, why did you do it? My husband wanted to get a divorce, and I'm not going to let him take my kids from me. Jeez. And so she, like, the police show up. They're banging on the door upstairs. She lets them in. She's covered in blood. Both kids are dead in the other room. He wakes up because he hears a commotion. He's like, what the fuck? And, like, even on the call, they're like, hey, like, where is your husband? Was he involved in this? She's like, he's asleep downstairs. She knows that he's not going to wake up. So the cops show up, and the mom gets there, I think, just before the cops. And, like, the thing that wakes him out of his sleep is his mother-in-law screaming.
Wow.
Like, just wailing, oh my God. So he's like, what the fuck? Goes upstairs, and there are cops there. His wife is covered in blood with a knife that he's never fucking seen before. And his 2 kids are just fucking eviscerated. And people were like, what the fuck, dude? And so he ended up posting later that in the trial they asked, like, he was brought to the stand, and they were like, hey, what do you want? Like, if you could give her a sentence, what would it be? And he was like, I don't care what her sentence is. I just never want to see her face again.
Yeah.
And So she gets
I would have
sentenced.
said death by trampling.
Right,
but,
she
you
gets sentenced to like
No,
150
death by
years
getting
in
her
prison.
fucking throat slit.
Yeah.
know, slowly.
Death by snoo.
So yeah, she gets like
no.
a
I want that.
150 years in prison or something, and then
Paroled.
with no
Time
no
served.
option for parole,
I know.
luckily.
and then Clinton pardoned her.
He finds out that his mother-in-law created a GoFundMe with the kids' pictures and with pictures of him with the kids, and basically alluded to like, hey, she needs a lot of help, but he needs a lot of help too, but like this mother-in-law is setting it up so that she can
So she gets
get
the money.
funding for the wife instead of like to cover the wife's legal fees.
Oh my
turd.
Basically using his image for all of it.
So awful.
It was like the most
Well, he's
fucked
already
up
got
thing that I
lawyers, so-
fucking read, and I was like, oh my god, dude.
Dude, some of those like long-term Redditor
Yes.
updates
Can
are
you imagine
insane.
following those from the
Like,
beginning and be
I've-
like, wow,
yeah.
interesting.
There's if
There's
you
one
like
about a
stuff
guy-
like this,
yeah.
go to, it's called Best of Redditor Updates, and they have stuff that they'll like, someone will update like a week ago, but it's something that's been ongoing for 3 years, and they'll just compile everything into one like big post.
Oh,
and there's
amazing.
some fucking crazy shit
Yeah.
on there.
There's that one we talked about before of a guy who was like, yeah, I tried heroin.
Yeah.
And it was his
And that
entire
that was in the thing,
decline,
yeah.
and then-
Basically,
and then coming
so his
back.
whole thing was he got off work, had like a month of really like bullshit work, and he posted and was like, hey, I smoke weed, like I've done a couple other drugs.
Yeah, like he'd done
but work
meth
is
before.
Yeah, work has been bullshit. I'm gonna do heroin one time and that's it. He does it the once and he ends up having enough for another dose, and he ends up doing it again. And it really is just like he ends up posting, and he'll comment on like random shit from time to time and be like, hey, I'm still alive, like I'm still
Wow.
here, I'm 10 years clean. So people will find his account anytime stuff like this comes up. They're like, hey, whatever happened to the heroin dude? And someone will link to his account, and it's just like a comment on like fucking like PC gaming on some weird random post. It's like, hey, it's me, I'm okay still, like I'm 10 years clean or whatever. But yeah, like full on decline into like him like he OD'd and needed fucking Narcan. Like he lost literally fucking everything. It's crazy. I'll have to find the link to it
Yeah,
and send it,
those
because
long-term
that
ones are so interesting.
that one's insane, and it's just heartbreaking
Yeah,
because
he,
you're like,
he basically finished it off with, don't even try it
yeah,
once.
don't do
Yeah,
it.
not
no,
worth it.
for sure.
It's
I'm
fucking
10 years
nuts.
clean, but I still think about it every single day.
Absolutely. You always will.
Yeah,
Always.
that one's a really wild one to read. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
send me the links because I don't. The only reason I have a Reddit account is because of you guys.
Yeah.
You were sending me stuff
Yeah.
for a bit, and I was like, well, I still have this account, but I don't use it.
yeah,
But I know there's interesting stuff there. I just don't
just gotta find
know where
it.
to start. Yeah.
I'll send you some stuff.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
I have some cool,
That stuff's super
some
cool.
big subreddits that are like that. Some other stuff that's just like really wild, off the wall.
Yeah.
So
There's one I'd like to find about someone who found, I don't know, it was by an overpass. They found a way to get in between the walls of this overpass, and someone had been living there, and it would go back to what they found, and it was one of those longer term
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Like I went back and I got back to this certain part, and there was this creepy stuff on the walls, and
I remember
someone
that.
had just been there.
You sent that
remember
to me. I remember
did.
that now.
Yeah.
Because it was like under the overpass,
Yeah.
but in between the walls.
Yep.
And there was like a chair there at
There was
one
a
point.
chair. Yep. I was envisioning the chair
and
as
there
I
was
said it.
there was like a, I don't know, he was like being watched at one point.
Yeah,
like,
and there was
crazy.
maybe
weird.
some weird, just the things that would get your imagination going.
Yeah,
but-
like no sleep. If
Yeah.
you like the spooky
That one's-
pastas.
Oh, okay.
that one's
Yeah.
so No Sleep is like stories that people will write that come off as a real post, but it's all just like fiction.
I
They have-
just called it sleepy
They have,
pastas, not creepy
you can
pastas.
I
you
like
can
that.
sort by like best of all time, and there are some really wild ones
I
on
used
there
to
for
read it
like
before.
creepy reads.
I used to think it was real.
Yeah.
I used to read it before.
Oh,
They
wow.
it came out to be fake, and I was like, I would read it all the time, and it was so scary.
I think when it first came out, that like a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, this is real
Yeah.
shit too." Like,
I mean,
was-
that's what
it was kind of
creepypastas
what
were.
made it
Right.
even scarier.
It was what people thought they were real.
Yep.
It's crazy stuff. But
Yeah, there's some good content on there. Also, some really brain dead content on there.
For
But I'll
real.
find
I don't know
some-
how to
I can send you
shuffle through
some
it.
good subreddits and everything that you'd like.
That would be great,
Yeah,
actually.
I got him on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Good,
he came
good.
up with my account name.
yeah. I was like,
Oh, really?
When he
Yeah.
told me, it's like, yeah, I don't use Reddit. I was like, bro, you are a Reddit user.
You just don't know it yet.
At least I'm not a Reddit commenter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is true.
No, I just like to be in the stands watching it happen.
Exactly,
I don't want to be part of
exactly.
it, right?
Good
Except
stuff,
when
yeah.
you write big balls or Pampers.
Oh,
or large
sorry.
Pampers.
Yo,
That
you
was
saw that
amazing.
fat
I
balls
showed
or
it to
Pampers
her.
Plus?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
I'm getting comments every
I love that.
several
It
times
was
a
comment.
day.
So
Amazing.
good, man.
Thank you.
Incredible.
That was my
So
my
fucking
Instagram
funny.
stardom.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's great.
Oh
You
shit!
he
good.
immediately got lip fillers.
All right. It all the money
This is
from
where it
Instagram
started.
went to his ass.
BBLs, tucks, lips, everything.
Just took a trip to Brazil.
Yeah.
Went
No,
ham.
cheaper in Mexico.
That's true.
God. All right, well, is that it?
I
Should
think
do
that's
the
it.
Patreon
How
close?
long has it been?
I don't. It's been an hour and a half.
Yeah, hour 40.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have it up.
Oh, okay.
Patreon, me.
Hey,
I'm
thank
there.
you,
I'm
patrons.
Yeah.
Y'all, all three of you
All of us
are
are
here.
Yeah, if you're a patron, you could be here
You
too.
could
I'm
be
on
here.
the board, yo.
Yeah.
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 True. If you're on the board, you are always welcome. If you're on the board or sleeping with the host,
Perfect. Yeah.
I could do both.
Be in the,
You can be in the
you can be in the
studio.
Halloween special.
Yeah, we can do both. Hey,
I don't care.
incest is win incest.
no! We have to end it there. End it there.
Oh shit!
I was more talking about D, but that's cool.
Oh yeah, I guess
oh
so.
my! It's gonna get real spooky Halloween.
Ooh.
Let's
Yeah.
get
Do
stinky.
you want me to do the Patreon
No,
stuff?
I was like, do you want me to just end it randomly?
Yeah.
All right, let's keep the conversation going totally naturally now that I've said that.
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Still recording on this one.